Welcome to Dripcast. Today we have
Young Majin
in
in the building.
Yes, sir. Thank you for making your way here.
Yes, sir.
On a broken knee, I see. Playing some basketball. What happened?
Yeah, man. Just recreational basketball.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the knee just buckled. Had to D-rose my knee up.
Derek rose the knee up.
Yeah.
I hear you. You coming out of Pinoy?
Yeah. So,
did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, it's Pinoy. So
Pinoy.
it's just like a slang for being Filipino.
For sure.
Yeah.
I hear you. When did you move to Utah and what brought you here?
Yeah, the fam just moved here in like the early 2000s. So, obviously I'm gonna tag along with them. So moving from the Philippines, and then they decided to choose Utah out of all places. And
how do you feel about that choice?
I mean, it's cool, growing up, especially I didn't grow up like in the Salt Lake area. I reside in the Clearfield, Layton area.
Okay.
So
up north?
Yeah.
That's right.
And yeah, man, childhood was all right. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Utah is very diverse when it comes to like ethnicity. What's that word?
Ethnicities.
Yeah. So it was chill growing up. Nothing crazy.
Word. When did you start making music and what got you into it?
Started making music, I would say like 13, 14 is when I started writing.
Okay.
But as far as what brought me into music was my older brother. He was like doing the music thing at the time, and then I picked it up from there, and been recording since I was like 16, but that's like on some like like acid music program type shit. Nothing crazy, and then it just evolved to what it is now. So it's been an experience. It's been a ride for sure.
Yeah, seems like you've been active on Instagram like as Young Majin since October of 2020.
Right, and I think that's when we spoke in Soundwell that night. Yeah. I think I remember.
Yeah, I was like, so you've been doing it for a year, and you were like, no, I've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a minute, but I'd say like when I took it like seriously and I really like applied pressures. October 2020.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Started cultivating an image that you're proud of.
Exactly. And ever since that time, everything kind of just, even right now, it's like snowballing into what it is. It's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that you made a lot of progress in a year's time, less than a year's time, really.
Yeah, in a year's time, I feel like
it's really impressive.
The first show I did was Soundwell for DJ Juggy, and shout outs to Juggy. He put me on, and as I did the show, like I said, I was in Layton, so I never really branched out musically. But when I did, it was not only my first time seeing all the acts, as far as like the Bobby B. Max of the world, the K the Dogs, the Rodri, and all them. So when I saw them and they saw me, it was love from the jump. And I think that's what's dope, because you don't really get that same energy from where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, I feel like, is trying to do the music thing. So I feel like it's like a free for all almost.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
More camaraderie down here. I hear you.
Yeah. So yeah, when I met them and I linked up with them, it was love from the jump.
That's tight. Speaking of like the snowballing effect and your fan base that you've cultivated, how have you done so? What do you think is like your most effective like strategy in cultivating a fan base, if it's conscious? That is,
I want to say I really don't put too much mind into it. It's more of just being consistent.
Okay.
I think that's the main thing. And I feel like it kind of trickles down to whatever you're trying to do, like the podcast, or if you're trying to be a musician or whatnot. It's all about consistency. Someone said, like, as long as you apply pressure, it's finna like blow up. You know what I mean? So I think, and it's hard. Like, I'd say like after October, I did, I don't know how many Slap City shows, and from that to the interviews, to the music videos, to the recording of the music, like, and on top of that, like on the real, like I still do a 9 to 5. You know, I don't do the music. It doesn't like financially, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so juggling everything to that, I mean, like it's time consuming. So being consistent is hard. So I know what these other local artists got to go through, and it's tough, you know, like some people got like other priorities too, as far as like their family. So, I mean, just, I think being consistent is the number one thing for sure.
Okay. I hear you. So it's not just like I feel like some people expect to, especially with the prevalence of like TikTok and its influence on the music industry, like expect like a hook or a verse to go viral like that. How do you,
I mean, it can,
yeah,
it can. And you know, some artists do blow up off that. The downfall of that is you don't have a fan base, like a strong fan base.
True.
So when you do go viral off a TikTok or, you know, a song and it explodes to what it is, like, and you don't have that natural fan base, you become a one-hit wonder. You know what I mean? So I feel like it all just depends on the artist too, and their personality and the character they're trying to portray. Because some of these, you know, artists is like, yeah, they have that one catchy song, but they don't have that extra it factor. You know what I'm saying?
I hear
and
you.
and like you see it like in the industry a lot of times, over and over again. And I think that's what I've had that conversation with myself. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, and like I don't want to blow up on some TikTok or, you know, I like this
Steady
like
rise.
steady, yeah, like that steady rise where I'm like, you know, networking and like, you know, like me and you and all these other local artists, podcasters and interviewers and all that. It's dope, and it gives me an organic fan base, especially from where we're at, Utah, you know what I'm saying? And I think I would rather have it that way than blow up overnight.
I hear you. That's a really good way to put it, organic fan base, because I've noticed some cats who have like 10,000 followers, but they're getting like 11 fucking likes. And not to say that likes and number of followers mean anything. I mean, they do, but
yeah, but I mean, that's just how it goes nowadays though. Like when you see those profiles that got 10,000 like followers, right? And like you said, they get like 11 likes or whatnot. Like, we're not dumb. Like we can see like obviously that's like fake followers, fake this, you know, you're buying it. And then like, you know, some people do it that way, fake it till you make it. But at the same time, it really just messes up your analytics and stuff.
I hear you.
When you look at it, like I try to tell like even like people that want like my 2 cents when it comes to music, I tell them like, don't get caught up in the hype. You know, like you see someone locally that gets X amount of views, X amount of likes, you know, and you're starting your way from the bottom. Bro, if your shit's popping, your shit's good, and the right people, the right ears hear it, like it's gonna do its thing.
And you continue to apply that pressure.
Yeah, of course. And like when people feel the need to like buy the likes, buy the views, buy the streams, I mean, at the end of the day, it's only hurting themselves.
Yeah, it's like a so it's more of a house of cards kind of thing. Just like one little flick of the wrist, or you know, like gust of wind is gonna blow your fan base over. It's not really.
I feel that
solid,
exactly.
Organic, like
Exactly.
I hear you. So how was it coming up during COVID? I mean, October 2020 is not exactly at all at the end of it. We're not in the end of it.
Exactly.
But like with the lack of shows and stuff, when was your first show?
Yeah, it was the October show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the I think it was like a couple days after Halloween, if not the weekend of the Halloween show.
Okay.
Yeah, and like
so y'all were making do.
Yeah, I mean, like it was the first. I think it was the first show where like they allowed like crowds back in. So like it was like super like 6 feet away. All the like tables were like, you know, like super spread far apart, masks everywhere and all that. And
how'd it go?
It was dope. Yeah, like
cool.
Like even though like I feel like everyone was just like relieved to be out.
Yeah,
you know, everyone was so confined and everything was just so like dull at the time. You know what I'm saying? That everyone was just like grateful to be out.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a dope vibe.
Cool.
And I met a lot of art. That's where I met Rodrigue too.
Yeah.
Was on that show because he was on that card.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that was like your first time really like exposing yourself to
Yeah.
not only live set but also other artists.
Exactly, and it opens so much doors. That's why I don't ever turn down Juggy when it comes to a Slap Lake City show. Every time he hits me up and says like, "Yo, I got this day open, you down?" I always say yes, because even just like, for example, that show, you know, like it opened my eyes and it gave me light from like the K the Dog, the Bobby B Mac was there, Rodrigue was there, Ox Coop was there, and, you know, and those are the people that till this day, you know, I talk somewhat day-to-day basis, so it's dope.
Cool. You and Rodrigue are similar in that he mentioned that he was just saying yes to all these opportunities. Is that a really important part of your kind of process? Just like,
Yeah.
do you ever turn down a show? Or
I mean, I've only turned down one show, and that's just because I got sick,
Yeah.
and that's when the COVID stuff was there, so I didn't want to even risk it and put people's health in danger. So other than that, I mean, I've never turned down a show, no. And Juggy said it too on one of his interviews. He said that you never know who's going to be listening. You never know who's going to be in the crowd
that night.
So
yeah.
So that's my mentality when it comes to shows, and you know, it's one way to like self promote, put my music out there, and yeah, like you never know who is listening for sure.
True, that's tight. It seems like Juggy's got a really good sort of like thing going on with that. He's like looking out for y'all and whatnot.
Oh yeah, like the dude is literally a machine. I feel like I don't know when that dude sleeps because he does like the Twitch in the morning. I don't know if you follow him on IG, but he does the Twitch in the morning. He does so many like DJing for like other like events and like clubs and stuff. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, no, he definitely shows love to the locals and always puts them on, no matter if they got one follower or like 10,000 followers. You know what I mean? Like that's why I respect him, because he doesn't ever like label people like as if they're good and then if they're bad. You know, like if they're an artist and they're trying to make it out in Utah, like he'll put you on the stage. You know what I mean? So that as an artist and as an upcoming artist, like what else can you ask for?
That's a really important presence in the scene, I would say. Cool. So I wanted to talk about this Dizzy Wright show coming up.
Oh, stoked? Yeah. I'm super stoked, man. Yeah. I really hope my fucking leg is better by then. But yeah, man, July 24th at Soundwell, Dizzy Wright opening up for the boy. Super excited. Did
you ever see yourself making it to that point?
As a kid, bro, you know, it's funny. Like as a kid, like, you know, like the Dizzy Wright was like, he was popping. Like, you listen to Dizzy Wright back in the day?
Yeah, not for a minute, but yeah, back
in the day, right? Yeah. You know, with Hobson and all them and Team Backpack and all that. Yeah. So like that's the last time I really like listened to him. I think that was like what? I want to say like 7 years maybe. Yeah. But at the time, I mean, like, you know, like you look up to these artists as if almost they're like not even human. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So like come full circle now and like me opening up for him, I feel like it still hasn't even hit me. And like, you know, like Juggy hit me up one time and he's like, yo, this is just the beginning. So I mean, like to get my feet wet for a Dizzy Wright show, that's a blessing for sure.
Yeah. How do you compile a set list for a show like this one? Is there a certain mood you're going for? Is there a certain...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in every like Slap City showcase, I try to get a vibe in, and I think, you know, it's crazy in each show. I feel like the crowd has a lot to do with it. Like you can put on like a super hype set list, and if the crowd is just not there with you, it don't matter how hype you are on stage. You know?
How do you kind of deal with that when you're like ready to go and they're just kind of like...
You kind of just do your thing and then hope that they vibe with you, which most of the time they do. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like, you know, like the crowd is like horrible, but when it comes to like the Slap City showcases too, you got to understand like majority of the crowd there is supporting their artists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I noticed that.
So when it comes to that, I feel like most of the time they'll support that, but then they'll kind of like snub and the other artists. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost a little competitive.
Exactly. And like, so I don't ever take it to heart, because at the end of the day, like I got
You're there.
I got 100% faith in myself and the music that I make. And I know like I have people that are super honest with me when it comes to like putting out my music, that I know like my shit ain't trash.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I do get on stage and I don't hype up the crowd as I want to, you know, I don't really take it too hard that much. I just keep it moving.
Do you have a moment on stage that just sticks out like that was the shit? Like,
yeah, Complex.
So, yeah.
The Complex show, Utah verse. That shit was crazy. I think we did like 500, 600 people, all local artists, no headlining artists.
It was just popping.
It was really popping. Were you there? Damn. Did you hear about it?
I think I talked about it with Roger.
Yeah. No, that night was dope as fuck. I had like I had this one song from my mom's. Oh. And I had everyone like pull out their like camera phones and wave that shit back and forth.
Oh hell yeah.
And when like you as the person like doing it, you know, it doesn't like look cool or like, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously because you're just waving. But for me, seeing like the fucking lights and shit, that shit was like memorable as hell. And I'll always remember that shit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So do you have a favorite song of yours that was like the most rewarding or one that you like have been like the most proud of that like sticks out of your discography?
Yeah, I want to say Needed More. Okay. One, because it was my first song that I ever put on like all the music platforms as far as like Spotify music, Apple Music and all that. And I remember putting it on and trying to like build like the page and all this shit. And I remember I put it on and I was like reading like how to like strategize on like how to like release it.
Okay.
And they said like, oh, like push it out like 3 weeks ahead of time or some shit like that. So I was like, I bet. And when I was doing it, I was trying to log in my Spotify account and it wouldn't let me.
Oh,
and I was like, damn. And it was like the night before, like it was about to release and I couldn't like, there's like this thing where you can like send it to like the editorial.
Like so DistroKid?
Like, yeah, and DistroKid. There's like a way you can send it to like an editorial but once it's released, you can't. So that's why I was like super in a hurry to get into the account. But long story short, I wasn't able to send it to the editorial, so I couldn't even be like suggested to be on like any like major playlisting.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when it dropped, I think like the first hour I got like 73 plays and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. But then like overnight it was at like 10,000 plays.
Nice.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then a week later it was like 40,000. And then
who needs an editorial?
Yeah, no, I don't know how the fuck it like blew up, but it blew up, bro. Like I had people like on my like DMs on IG like telling me like, oh, your song's dope, this and that. I even made it to like Genius. Like I made it to Genius. Like someone like I didn't even like put all the lyrics out. Someone like literally put all like the lyrics word for word and shit.
Did they fuck it up at all?
A little bit. But I mean like it is what it is.
Yeah, of course. It's kind of inescapable as someone who didn't write it. And
and it's crazy. I just checked my like stats this morning.
Yeah.
And my all-time plays I'm almost at 200K. So that's dope. It's very humbling.
When did you drop that one? In October or way back?
I want to say 2 years ago.
Oh, word.
I want to say like I can't remember the month, but I think it's been 2 years.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds like it worked out however stressful this process was.
Yeah, like, and, you know, like, I wish every song that I put out does the numbers that song did, but I mean, like, it just doesn't. And getting on, like, an editorial playlist for Spotify is not as easy as it seems.
Yeah.
I haven't had one editorial, like, song. Everything's, like, super, like, everything is organic. I haven't had, like, any, like, playlisting. I haven't paid nobody for, like, playlisting or anything like that. So 200K for just me alone and just, you know, just me grinding, like I'm proud of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. How do you kind of feel about songs that don't do as good? How do you just kind of keep moving forward when songs don't get like 10,000 overnight?
Yeah, I mean, I just keep it moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously like every
you ever
song
have a
I
song
want.
that you like really think is gonna be like a hit, and then it's
Yeah. All the time. I feel like every song that I do like next, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the hit one. This is the one, you know? So
Or did you ever have one that like you didn't expect to rise to the top of your like plays and streams, but came up
yeah.
over another?
Yeah, there's a song. I think it's one of the most played songs on my Spotify right now. It's called Overthinking.
Okay.
And yeah, I honestly I didn't think it would like do the numbers it's doing now, but I think it's at like 80K right now.
It's just interesting how that works. Like as artists, we just think.
Yeah, you just never know.
But,
you know, like Drake when he released I think it was God's Plan.
Yeah.
I think it was like that was one of his like trash songs.
Right, his throwaways.
His one of his throwaways, and he was just like, fuck it, let me just make a video and do this, and it's like till this day I think it's his biggest song.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got moving forward? Like what's do you got EP, album, anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm orchestrating an album. It's called Chapter 1.
Okay.
As far as how complete it is, I mean, I thought it was complete, but I really want to like take my time with it because I just dropped an EP called Vent.
Right.
And before that, I felt like I was just like putting out music, like I would say like twice a month, sometimes maybe once a month at some points too. And I feel like right now, like I have a lot of songs in the vault, but I don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
And I really want to like get with Apollo with all these visuals because we do have a lot planned.
They're doing your visuals. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, no, he's
same guy every time it seems.
Same guy, yeah, that's my dude. Like, and then that's another thing too. Like I met him over Soundwell.
Okay.
With the artists. He was one of the videographers for one of them, and I reached out to him in IG. And the first time we did a visual, like our chemistry and our vibe was like super like cool. Like he was a really cool dude. Organic, yeah. Cool. Like, and then that's one thing too, right? Like working with like people, and I'm sure you've had like guests that maybe wasn't that, I don't know what's the word, like maybe like they were like hard to talk to. Or like, you know what I'm saying? And like, and it goes with the same thing with the music stuff. Like there's people that I've worked with and it's just like super awkward at times. And I'm just like, damn, you know what I mean? But Paulo was like, super cool. Like
y'all clicked.
Yeah, we clicked. Definitely. That's why I kept him around. And yeah, man, we planning on
collaboration.
We plan on definitely dropping like visuals for the EP. Like we keep on getting like setbacks just cause, you know, family and life and shit. And then now we were supposed to fucking shoot last weekend or this week days. And then this shit happened with my knee. So it's going to be pushed back a little bit, but everything happens for a reason.
For sure. That's tight. So with this Dizzy Wright show coming up, do you have any other shows or are you just kind of like doing the slap legs? Yeah,
I'm going to do the slap legs and I'm going to do this Dizzy Wright. Hopefully Angela, she's the owner for Complex. Hopefully we can get a Utah verse too, and hopefully I can be part of that. That'll be dope. And as far as that goes, I mean, as far as shows, I mean that's all I really got lined up for now.
Just gonna keep applying pressure. Definitely.
I really want to do. I really want to focus on that album. I really want to
Chapter 1.
Yeah, I really want to get it done. And hopefully released by December.
Okay.
If not sooner, maybe September. But we'll see.
Is there a certain message or thematic elements that you're pushing with that one?
Did you listen to the EP?
I did. Yeah, it seems like you.
It's more of like kind of like in the softer side or like even like almost like sobering like side. So this one I really wanted to be like more uplifting, more hype. And I have like,
why title it Chapter 1?
Just because I feel like this is the beginning.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is it your first album?
Yeah.
It's just EPs and singles?
Yeah, it's just EPs and singles. So that's why I really want to take my time with this one.
Hell yeah.
Because I want to like, you know, and what's dope about the title, right? The next one can be Chapter 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? It can just be that simple.
Yeah. Prologue, epilogue.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I want to.
in the book of Majin.
Yeah, exactly. That's dope. So I do want to take my time, and on top of that, like I'm working with so many artists and they're so fucking good, dope ass artists, and some of these songs that I have in the works with them too, I really want to like take my time and master my craft with it, and that way when I deliver it to like you guys or like my fans and whatnot, they'll definitely appreciate it.
That's tight. You're pretty excited about where you're at physically, like in Salt Lake and Utah, that is?
Yeah, bro, like
pretty settled on the scene here.
Yeah.
Like I've interviewed artists who are just sight set on LA and stuff.
Really? And that's, I mean, like to each their own, but I feel like I want to make it out here.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to branch out and go to like a big city, LA and stuff, but I want to do the impossible.
The more grassroots type.
Yeah. And I feel like Utah gets a bad rap, but bro, there's so much talent out here. It's insane, bro.
There is, absolutely.
It's insane.
And that's actually one thing I like to ask people is like, what do you think is like getting in the way? If there is like, what's causing the bad rap? What could help us overcome it? Because there is so much talent here from what I've interviewed, what I see.
You know, I ask myself that all the time.
Really?
And I feel like when it's, let's just throw like New York out there, for example, right? Some of these New York artists, I don't know if you like see it, but they make a hot record and they blow up. And I feel like it's just, I think when it comes to music scene and when it comes to the genre of hip hop, I feel like there's more heads that gravitate to that instead of Utah. I feel like Utah is super diverse. There's, you know, like people that fuck with like country, rock and all this, like, you know what I mean? And hip hop is like kind of like, if we look at a pie chart, everything's kind of like equals out. If not, like probably I'd say even hip hop or like rap is probably even like smaller in that pie chart than most of these like music genres. So when you look at like New York and like Cali and that, hip hop is like up there. If not it's number one. Yeah. So I think that's the reason why some of these artists don't get the recognition that they deserve, is just because hip hop and rap is not that big, you know? And even the radio stations, and no knock to the radio stations, is like they don't really play local artists. Not like versus like the New York, you know, like when you hear like Funk, Master Flex like play like these local artists, like he really do that, you know? And I don't know why like they don't want to play like local artists. I don't know if it's like in their contracts or whatnot. I don't know.
Politics, maybe.
Politics, yeah, maybe it's that. But I mean, like I talk to like them, you know, like when I say them, like U92 people, like Dre Rocka, the E-Rockalypse of the world, you know what I mean? And it is love. They know how I be moving. But I mean, I feel like it's all in due time. And once I elevate myself to that certain type of level, and I feel like everything will just piece itself together.
Hell yeah. That's a great attitude to have. That's pretty much all I had. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, sir.
Anything, any shout outs you'd like to make or let the people know what's going on? Anything on your mind?
Hell yeah. I just want to shout out the fam, you know what I'm saying? Big shout outs to everyone that really just fucks with the kid. Big shout outs to Juggy, for sure. That's my dude. Big shout outs to Kay, Bobby, fucking Moon Gang. You already know the vibes. And come out, Soundwell, July 24th. The boy's gonna be opening up for Dizzy motherfucking Wright. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on IG, who this AZN. All music platforms gonna be Young Majin. That's YUNGMAJIN. And you're listening to Dripcast, and we out.
Hell yeah. Thanks, dog.
Yes, sir.